Heyo, my name is Connor. You guys already know that. I just wanted to say before I get into the main chunk of this video for kind of the rules and etiquette for anybody who's new, what the night's going to look like. I imagine that we're going to have somewhere between 10 and 20 people show up. You guys can feel free to dress up. I think I'm going to do some kind of poker impression. I may try and do Phil Hellmuth or something. But yeah, dress up. You can either dress up fancy or Hawaiian or dress up as a poker player. I don't know, something to make the night cool. So if you want to get a hoodie and sunglasses, that is a good fit. I like that. It's going to be a tournament night, so everybody's going to start with a certain stack. And then throughout the night, the blinds are going to increase until we're left with one person who wins. The total event will probably take anywhere between 3 and maybe 5 hours if it stretches into the night. If you bust, you are not mandated to be there. In fact, this is a poker night first and foremost. So we're not, you guys feel free to be entertained, but I'm not making any side things for you guys. Well, yeah, that's kind of the brief overview. I will say Hunter and Emily have graciously let us use their home as a venue. So don't do anything stupid. Try and make it as easy on them as you can. And yeah, let's have fun. I'll see you guys May 3rd, 7:30 p.m. sharp. Be there. You get an extra little bonus to your chip stack. Increase your chance of winning. So, hey, you probably know me. My name's Connor. Here's a brief overview if you feel nervous or anything about the poker night or you haven't played in a minute. I'm going to kind of go over some basics here. So, firstly, we're pretty chill. We don't do anything too crazy. We're pretty easygoing. Anybody who's new and joins our game normally picks it up pretty quickly. Yeah, there's not too much to it. We really just want to have fun first and foremost. If you make mistakes, it's not that big of a deal. Your intention's what matters. So if you say you want to do X and you accidentally do Y, so for reference, say you wanted to raise and instead you accidentally only put out calling chips, whatever your intention is what we'll take. Basically, we're here to work with you. If you haven't played poker as seriously as we do, we're here to help. Stuff, if you want to be on your A game and make sure you're being super accommodating to everybody, when it is your turn, act. So this is the only big thing that you really should just think about. The game goes around in a circle. It goes left to the dealer button. And if you have any questions at the table, we can let you know. But yeah, just kind of have a pulse on the game. See if it's your turn, then it's time to do an action. This verbalizing your action, this is just in case. So if you want to raise and you don't say it out loud, that still counts as a raise. And the only other thing is just kind of have a basic idea of how poker works. On that raise front, the only kind of wacky rule that sometimes people don't understand, when you raise, you have to do double the previous amount. So say it's me and you playing, and I bet 50. If you have aces and you want to raise, the minimum amount you can raise to is 100. So something to keep in mind, and we'll tell you at the table too. Again, if you raise and it's 1.5 instead of a doubling, we'll just do a min raise. Things that you should definitely not do. This is kind of a weird way to phrase it, but in poker, it's 2 players to a hand. So again, say I'm playing against you, and we're at a big pot, and we're coming to decisions, and say I bet 50 again, and then Jeff leans over and he looks at me and he goes, when he does that, it's always a bluff. That's a sentence that should never kind of come out of your mouth. If 2 people are in a hand, let them play out the hand. You shouldn't be telling others how to do correct play. Like, you shouldn't be giving them hints or help, which kind of goes without saying. Fake and joke bets. Don't jam all in as a joke and then be like, oh, I was just pranking. Not allowed to do stuff like that. For kind of obvious reasons. Obviously, it's not in the vein of the game, but it's also called angling. So basically, you could fake jam all in, see how your opponent reacts, and then you could change your action depending on if he's happy or sad. Cheating. I've I've never experienced this in our home game, and I've been running this home game for almost 3 years now. I say running it. All of us have been playing this home game. We've never once had an instance of cheating, and we've played some degenerate stakes where we're putting probably too much money on the table. We haven't had any cheating. Now to counteract that, we do a couple things. So dealer shuffles, and then somebody else should cut, or at least you should see the dealer shuffle from start to finish and watch them cut. What's probably going to happen for this tournament night is I'm going to be dealing at one table, and I'll have Jeff or Logan deal at another table just to make sure we can keep pace of play up. And yeah, I trust us, kind of on everybody at the table to be vigilant, but it's such a non thing. Also, don't berate somebody if they make a bad play. If they call you down with bottom pair and you were bluffing and you're just fucking tilted, you get so mad. Don't take it out on them. That's something you want them to do. You want them to keep making bad plays so you can catch them next time. And basically, TLDR, don't be this guy, which is Phil Hellmuth. He's one of the greats of the game, but he's a notorious, I'll say whiner. I was going to say trash talker, but that's not true. He's a notorious whiner, as evidenced by this guy's face when he's about to go off railing on somebody who's off screen right now. This is kind of a classic moment, which I have the video here, which I may just link after the fact. If you want to play well, here's some stuff that I've found has helped. And I actually have a QR code to a really long Google slideshow that I made for Hunter when I was trying to get him up to speed when he just started playing. It's pretty in-depth on the theory, but it's very approachable. I made it very jokey, kind of like this. Firstly, live tells, live schmells. Everybody in poker is like, oh, he scratched his chin. Oh, he rubbed his ear. He looked away. He breathed differently. For the most part, you're not going to notice these things. And as much as people do them subconsciously, so for reference, if somebody has a good hand, say they scratch their head, the equal amount will happen on the opposite side, where somebody will try and fake a live tell when they're actually really strong. A common thing that happens, and sometimes I find myself doing this too, if I'm in a big pot and I know I have the best hand and I want the other person to call, you can kind of like make yourself flush and like increase your heart rate so they can notice that. But it's obvious because it's strong is weak and weak is strong. So for the most part, don't really focus on that. You just want to play poker. You want to play good hands, win a lot of money, and fold bad hands. And that's where the game is. Attack, attack, attack. If you want to be good at poker, you just have to be aggressive. If you're somebody who waits for good hands all the time, what happens is you get a good hand and nobody gives you any chips because they know you have a good hand. You also lose out on the ability to bluff. Bluffing is it's so good for increasing your expected value of winning. You need to be able to bluff, so when you're bluffing, that you can make more money with your strong hands. It's kind of a hard thing to talk about, and that QR code that I have linked up here will go to more specifics of kind of how to utilize that.